SSH or Secure Shell is a network protocol that lets you securely connect to and control remote machines over an insecure network. In simple terms, it's like having a private, encrypted conversation with another computer. This is crucial for administrators and developers who need to remotely manage servers, transfer files, or run commands without any eavesdropping. Older tools like Telnet did a similar job, but sent everything in plain text, meaning an attacker could read your login and data easily. Using Telnet is like talking on speakerphone in a crowded room. Everyone can hear you. SSH, by contrast, encrypts the entire session, so an eavesdropper only sees gibberish. And that's why SSH has largely replaced Telnet for remote access. It's secure by design. So when you start an SSH session, your computer, the SSH client, opens a network connection to the SSH server, typically on TCP port 22, which is the default door SSH listens on. Many firewalls leave port 22 open, so SSH can get through even when other ports are blocked. Through this connection, SSH uses strong encryption to set up a secure tunnel between your machine and the remote host. All communication through this tunnel is encrypted, protecting your passwords, commands, and data from prying eyes. Before diving deeper, imagine a quick scenario. You are on your laptop and you want to configure a web server in another city. With SSH, you can open a terminal window and essentially teleport your keyboard to that remote server. Every command you type is executed there, and every response comes back to you, all through an encrypted channel. This ability to securely shell into remote system is what makes SSH incredibly important for day-to-day development and DevOps. At its core, SSH securely relies on cryptography. And there are two layers to understand: asymmetric for the initial handshake and symmetric encryption for the actual data transfer. So when an SSH connection starts, the client and server use a public key exchange algorithm to establish a shared secret key. Think of public key cryptography as a lock and key system. You have a private key which you keep secret, and a public key which you can share freely. The public key is like a lock. Anyone can use it to lock or encrypt data that only your private key, the key, can unlock. In SSH handshake, both sides exchange information using public keys and generate a matching secret on each end, without ever sending the secret across the network. This is called an ephemeral key exchange, because the shared key is temporary, created just for this session and then discarded. Here's the magic. Both the client and server independently compute the same secret key, and yet no outsider can figure it out just by watching. The symmetric encryption key SSH will use is never transmitted. It's generated independently on both sides. From that point on, both parties use the same shared session key to encrypt and decrypt everything they send. Symmetric encryption is fast, efficient, and secure. In short, SSH client connects to the server, usually on port 22. They exchange greetings and negotiate encryption methods. A secure key exchange happens and both compute the same session key. All communication now happens over encrypted, secure tunnels. And all this happens in milliseconds, before you even get a login prompt. Telnet sends everything in plain text, usernames, passwords, even commands. So anyone snooping the network can read it all. SSH, on the other hand, encrypts everything from the moment you connect. Think of Telnet as sending a postcard. SSH, it's more like sending a locked briefcase that only the recipient can open. And that's why SSH replaced Telnet. So always use SSH, especially when working on public networks or the production systems. Alright, once the encrypted tunnel is up, SSH still needs to check who you are. Now you could log in with a regular password, but SSH keys are the better way. Here is how the key-based authentication works. You create a key pair on your machine, a private key and a public key. You keep the private keys safe and secure. You copy the public key to the server. Inside a file, SSH authorized keys. Now when you SSH in, the server checks for a matching key. It sends you a challenge. Your client proves it owns the private key, and the server verifies the proof using the stored public key. Boom, you are logged in. No password exchange, no secret sent over the wire. So why is this better? Because nothing sensitive travels across the network. Private keys are much harder to brute force than passwords, and you can automate scripts and deploy without typing credentials. SSH keys are now the gold standard of Git, CI/CD pipelines, and cloud servers. For instance, if you have launched an EC2 instance on AWS, you have probably used a .pem file. That file is your private key. AWS already adds the private key to your EC2 instance during creation. To connect, you run ssh-i mykey.pem EC2 user at certain IP address. The SSH checks the PEM key, verifies the match, and grants access. No passwords, no usernames, just encrypted trust. The .pem file, guard it with your life, because if someone gets it, they can access your server too. And similarly, do you wonder how you push code to GitHub without typing a password? That's SSH again. You add your public key to your GitHub account. Now when you push your code, GitHub sees your public key, verifies it matches your private key, and lets the operation go through. No tokens, no passwords, just seamless authentication. In fact, GitHub now disables password-based Git over SSH completely. SSH keys or HTTPS with tokens are the way. Now let's talk about a lesser known SSH superpower, local port forwarding. You can use SSH to tunnel traffic through a server to another machine behind it. So say you need to access a database, say MySQL database running on a private network, and you can't reach it directly, but you can SSH into a Bastion host nearby. Now, a Bastion host is a publicly accessible server that sits in front of a private network. It acts like a secure gateway, letting you SSH in and then forward ports to reach internal resources. We'll talk more about Bastions, their setup, and best practices in an upcoming video. So here, your local port 3306 connects securely to the remote MySQL database, since 3306 is the default port MySQL listens on. And your app thinks it's talking to localhost 3306. But SSH securely forwards the traffic through the Bastion server. It's encrypted, it works around firewalls, and it's incredibly powerful. You can use it for databases, dashboards, internal tool, anything that shouldn't be exposed publicly. Whether you are logging into a server, deploying code, or accessing a private database, SSH is your trusted companion. Now that you know how it really works, logs, keys, tunnels and all, go try it out. Set up your first key pair, SSH into a test server, forward a port, it all makes sense now. And if this helped, consider subscribing. We break down complex text with visual stories and friendly walkthroughs, just like this one. So until next time, happy coding and stay secure with SSH.